The smallest one is over there. That has 48 inputs.
It's the smallest one.
That's the smallest one. 48 plus 8 stereo. This one has 64 plus 8 stereo, and the largest one has 72 plus 8 stereo. And that's basically the only difference in the models. The number of DSP channels inside and the number of faders. And that's it. All the processing, all the effects, all the features, everything is the same. Also on the output there are 8...
And preamplifiers is, which one?
Sorry,
the preamplifiers, which one is?
It's again a new one.
A new one?
A new one, yes.
It's not from PM
it is
5?
There are some parts of PM5D in it, some parts of M7. It's a little bit different again. I mean, it's physically not the same preamp. It's a different one. Yeah, so that's the difference between the consoles. So the DSP count, so the DSP channel count, and the number of faders. And for the rest, they are all the same. A lot of things have been changed in the console. So you recognize the same user interface as the M7, but it has been expanded, it has been improved, it's a lot faster.
And the graphic is nice.
Yeah, better graphics, very fast touchscreen. The overall performance of the console is much faster, so it's really a pleasure to work with. For example, we have new channel strips with LED color bars. We have many custom layers for faders, so you can adapt the faders to whatever you want to do. We have user-defined knobs, which are free assignable functions. We have user-defined keys for many functions. We have encoders per channel, which can have analog or digital gain, panorama, or a freely assignable function.
Oh, so it's very easy. It's very fast.
very easy, very fast. This is the middle model. The largest model has here in between 8 channels. Extra.
Oh, the extra for
yes. And the smallest model is exactly this one.
Yeah, I saw it. The smallest one.
And you are free to assign whatever you want on these faders. So you can have inputs, of course.
All right.
Stereos.
DCAs.
All 16 DCAs. And then you have in this model 3 custom layers. And you could have inputs, outputs. You could program inputs here, DCAs here, outputs there. That's completely freely assignable for each part of the user interface. So for this part of the fader, for the middle fader, we have a lot of functionality over here, and also for that part on the CL5. For the rest, it's all clear. If you know M7 or you know LS9.
And USB now working like a recorder, isn't it, here?
Yes, you can record on USB, you can play back on USB.
That is missing in M7.
Yes, that's correct. With each component of the system, you get a Dante virtual sound card license, so you can directly hook up to the network and multi-track. Also, each console will get a Nuendo Live version, so you can record 64 tracks immediately. So in the user interface, you recognize that it's basically what you know, how it works.
Everything.
Some special things are, for example, the amount of racks. So in the M7 there was 1 rack, which could have all graphics or up to 4 multi-effects and the rest graphics. Here you have 2 graphic EQs, pages. So you have 8 units, which can have mono or stereo graphic EQs, so up to 16 channels. A second rack, also up to 16.
Nice.
Then there is an effect rack, which has 8 effects, including also the VCM effects you know from PM5D and from M7CL. They are in here. And then we have a premium rack. And the premium rack is connected to a Shard DSP inside. And here we have some very special high-end plugins, basically. For example, the console will be delivered with a Rupert Neve 5033 VCM plugin. There will be a particle compressor from Mr. Rupert Neve. Then, for example, we'll have a URI compressor inside. There will be a Teletronic unit. as plug-in. There will be a pull tech as a plug-in, and
nice.
we will have a newly designed dynamic equalizer. And this plug-in rack has 8 units, and each unit can have one effect which can be used as stereo or dual mono. So you could have up to 16 Rupert Neves, or the only exception is the URI that takes a lot of processing power. So if you assign that, it will take 2 units. But that's the exception. Yeah, they all are very low latency. So yeah, then this is basically all. Well, you know that Sands on Faders channel job is also the same. Recall safe has a higher granularity than the M7, so you can really go into detail and recall safe specific parameters. The same goes for the scenes. There is a scene focus function like M7, but it has a much more higher resolution, so you have a lot more parameters to set. And also here you can per channel set what you would like to copy from another scene. Yes,
right.
so it's more PM5D or PM1D. With regards to the scenes, there is a preview button, which will not be enabled in the first version in 0.1, but it will be enabled in 1.1, which will come around July. And you might know that from PM5D, I don't know. This shuts down the user interface control to the DSP. And what you can practically do is, if you have a rehearsal on stage, for example, there is a piano and a bass player and a singer, they have to rehearse for 1 hour and you have to do something else with the console. Then you can keep the console in that audio mode, in that scene, but you can load another scene. So the surface shows, for example, scene 10, but you're actually hearing, for example, scene 8.
All right.
And then you can program in scene 10, store in scene 10, maybe something in 11 or do something else. And then if you want to go back to the scene, you just press preview and then you are in control again.
Like a light control setup.
Yes. So this is very practical. It will not be in version 1, but in the first version after that. Yes. Yes, scenes are compatible in between all the 3 models, and there will also be a file converter software.
Yeah, I saw it.
Which can convert LS9, M7, PM5D, NCL files into each other. Yeah. So you can go from this to LS9 or from PM5D to this. The CL5 will be 23,000 euro. This one is around 17 and the smallest one is around 12.5. The CL5 price has been fixed, but the other models not yet, so that could vary a little bit, only a little bit. Depends on the Japanese yen, and it's always kind of tricky. Yeah, and then the stage boxes, you can see them over there.
Yeah.
The big one has 32 input, 16 out, plus 4 stereo ISBU. The smaller one is 16 and 8 out.
Which price is now for this?
The big one is 6,600. You can connect up to 8 of the stage boxes to one console, so you can have 265 channels in the network, which can also all be controlled. You can also have multiple consoles in the network.
Yeah, because I have already 2 kind of consoles.
If you, for example, have 2 CLs in the network, you can have up to 4. But if you, for example, have 2, then they can both control the analog gain if you want. And you can switch on gain compensation. And then if one changes the analog gain, it is automatically compensated for every participant in the network. Also, for example, if you have an M7 or an LS9, or even if you have a Soundcraft with Dante. So that's a great advantage of this method of gain compensation. Yeah.
Nice. Right.
Yeah, I think it's a great console.
A little bit. Yes. I must buy it and see it.
Sorry, you?
I must buy it and see it one day.
Yeah. That's. I mean, you have to feel it a little and try a little bit. Of course. Yeah.